Thanks so much for joining us. We have Moderator Yu-Chung Li speaking with Fay Darmawi, Erin Masako Wilkins, Master Co, Tanja Geis, and our beloved interpreter, Erin. They're going to be speaking about the mystical power of the elements, ancient philosophy, Taoism, and as it relates to urban planning, landscape architecture, and design, art, and culture. So Yu-Chung Li is a registered landscape architect. His diverse training in civil engineering, urbanism, and landscape architecture provides him with a broad perspectives on complex urban, natural, and social systems. His design philosophy centered on people, dialectical, and inclusive. Yu-Chung studied urbanism at Delft University of Technology in the Netherlands and received a professional degree in landscape architecture from UC Berkeley. He's been involved in several projects here in the community in San Francisco, Chinatown, including the Pink Public Housing and Portsmouth Square renovation. Currently, he teaches design studios at UC Berkeley and UC San Francisco. Welcome, Yu-Chung. Thank you. Moving in alphabetical order in the first name, so we'll start with Erin. Erin Masako Wilkins is an Asian American herbalist, acupuncturist, and educator. Her work is rooted in Asian energetic theory, tapping into her own ancestral healing traditions to empower others to restore health and prevent illness. And she remains a dedicated activist in the intersection of urbanism, racial equity, and environmental justice. Her book, Asian American Herbalism, Traditional and Modern Healing Practices for Everyday Wellness, is at the intersection of North American folk herbalism and traditional Chinese medicine. Erin runs herfolkshop.com, which offers virtual holistic health consultations and teaches herbalism courses online and at the greater San Francisco area. Welcome, Erin. Hey, Fay Darmawi is a social practice artist who focuses on cities, storytelling, and media. She is the founder and executive producer of SF Urban Film Fest, a film festival focused on city and inspired by great storytelling. Fay is an immigrant from Jakarta, Indonesia, but called San Francisco, where she raised her now college-age twin sons, her hometown. Welcome, Fay. Master Ko Hing is executive director of Lotus Taoism Institute. The Lotus Taoism Institute was founded in San Francisco in 2013 by Taoist Master Gao Shiji to promote Taoist teachings and to preserve traditional Chinese culture in a modern diasporic context. Derived from the Longmen Dragon Gate, so it's a school of Taoism, the temple focuses on meditation, self-reflection, and self-healing practices in the outer sunset. Woo! Taoist from Chinese mythology bless the space with a solemn yet uplifting atmosphere. In 2022, the organization became the Lotus Town Culture Association, a nonprofit serving community members from all walks of life. Thank you, Master Ko. Next, Tanja Geis creates site-based visual art that explores the potential of intimacy within human disturbed marine and coastal ecosystems. She holds an MFA in art practice from UC Berkeley and an MA in marine management from the University of this one, Iceland, and a BA in fine art from Yale University. Geis has exhibited her work at Forsyth Urban Art Museum, Santa Cruz Museum of Art and History, IC San Francisco, San Jose Museum of Art, and galleries in Iceland, Scotland, England, Hong Kong, and Japan, and San Francisco. She has participated in arts residencies at Headland Center for the Arts, Institute of Contemporary Art San Francisco, Drosy Resident Artist Program, Blue Mountain Center, and Kala Art Institute. Geis also serves on the board of Women Eco Artists, and born and raised in Hong Kong, she is now based in Japan. Thank you, Tanja, and welcome.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming. My name is Yu-Chung. Yu-Chung in Chinese means in the universe, or middle universe, so I'm not sure it's why I'm selected as a moderator for this final topic, but here I am. So when Feng has invited me to be a moderator, I feel really understand it more well because this topic is such a big, broad, and deep. And with philosophy, and also it's kind of our daily basis practice. So I got a conversation with Mr. Cole for preparation, and then it actually reminds me the first paragraph in the classical Taoism, Taoism says the way you can go isn't the real way, and the name you can say isn't the real way. So I just want to remind you can relax, sit back, because we're not going to figure out the universe today, not going to solve your life issues today. Want to just enjoy the conversation with your friends. It's such a big topic. There's no way you can figure out one hour. So today's agenda, briefly, I will start with a very simple introduction and try to cover from different scales, and then each panelist is going to introduce themselves, and we're going to ask some questions. And then we'll have some kind of question session between panelists. And we'll wrap up with Q&A section with you guys. Okay? So, we start. So I'm this architect. So this architect actually deal with all kinds of elements. Earth, stormwater, air, trees, minerals, even fire. So sorry, don't go too fast. Go on. So we care beyond the materials. Actually, we care about flows and the flow of energy, and the flow of circulation, and the flow of humans. So this is actually a breathing exercise, a working draft, when I studied the breathing of the Earth. So you can see, even the Earth has flows. So this comes to light. So next. So we got belt. We can actually sense the flow of plantation, circulation, and how human move through space. And actually, the flow is actually the most important part element. Next. So here we are. The diagram shows the traditional Chinese 5 element on the left, and the right is a classical element. So I want to point out the Chinese 5 element actually is beyond materials. The most important part is actually the cycle, the flows, and the relationship between each element. Okay? So different from classical element. And if you notice in the festival thing, I mean there's no wood, the air. I think the high-five team here try to promote open discussion and cross-cultural dialogue. So we're not just talking about Chinese element, but since we have most people here are related to East Asian culture, so we're going to talk probably mostly about Chinese culture, but that's something we kind of only talk about. Next. So I just want to tell some interesting stories. So I was raised by my grandma in a small village in Taiwan. And my grandma, like a lot of East Asian grandma, told me not to drink ice water when you're hot, because it's going to hurt your balance in your body, right? You will not, because grandma did that. And actually, every year, in the winter time before the Chinese New Year, the local farmer association, we give out this free yellow book as a calendar. It contains a lot of really interesting information, and I kind of always fascinated with this book. You can see on the right side, actually, each day tell you what to do, what not to do. Each day has an element associated with the date. And you have a trigram showing what kind of trigram that is, so be careful. You might have some unlucky thing happen up there, don't go out. And it's such an amazing detail that I can see that every day when people look at, oh, I should not go to the zoo today. Something like that. And even tell you what not to eat. There's a better or deadly combination if you eat them together, which is very interesting knowledge that I'm just wondering who wrote it, who wrote this, right? So this, in the village, people grew up with this knowledge and bring them to whatever you go. And I grew up with this. This is actually my part of myself. That's why I'm talking this to you. Next. So, and when I moved to San Francisco, I just cannot help but imagine early immigrants, when they came to San Francisco, bring with them their knowledge in 5 elements. What they thinking, when they encounter this Mediterranean climate. Summer fog, forest fires, earthquake, the redwood forest. It's so different, right? So when they have different ideas about how the 5 element works, and then how this nature impact our understanding of the natural system, like violence. When they create something different, what kind of city they're going to create? In Chinatown, right? This is such a fascinating discussion to do. So today, I think I was asking our panelists to think about 2 questions. First, what's your main concept? Your practice in your work. Second, how do you relate them to your work? And then, I think everyone coming from different places. Traveling, immigration, moving different places, did not affect how you understand the elements. Did not change the way you kind of work with the elements. Did not affect your work. What's your thought? So that's maybe 2 main questions I asked our panelists. So I think we'll start with India. And we'll talk about their work and how this work relates to the environment.
Excuse me, correct the hearing.
Oh.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh, much better.
Great. Thanks for letting us know. Hi, thanks for coming. My name is Tanja Geis. I'm a visual artist. I'm super excited to be on this panel. I'll start with a little bit of background on my practice and how I work, and then I'll talk a little bit about how my practice relates to the elements and also in the way that I connect to place. So I create immersive, site-responsive drawings, installations, and sculpture that emerge from deep research and intimate encounters with edge ecosystems and species disrupted by human activity. My work explores how queering, drawing close to and engaging with often overlooked or intentionally hidden impacts of humans on the liveliness of non-humans might foster a kind of empathy and begin to transform our perception of our place in and our responsibility towards the planet. The unseen ocean and the coast as a threshold, recur in my work as potent spaces for this exploration. I work a lot with repetitive accumulation of marks and objects. You can just kind of go through the slides slowly. So I work with a lot of accumulation of marks and objects. I work with patterns, a lot of detail and kinetics to try and draw the viewer into a curious, unsettled, and intimate kind of scene.
I work with materials that I forge in specific ecosystems, leveraging the resonance of their material histories as these tactile, analog indices of place. My process is guided by the question, what new ways of seeing might help us live with grace in these mongrel ruins of our creation? So a little background on this particular project. Switch the slide one more time. Okay, you can go back to, okay. So this is a project, an installation that I had up this fall in San Francisco, the guardhouse in Fort Mason. The title of the work is Love Will Remember Us. In it, I proposed a speculative future in which this guardhouse, now submerged beneath the ocean, is home to new marine life, adapted to and thriving amidst pollution, warmer oceans, and sea level rise. The installation is comprised of 16 modules, and they are hung with objects made from unfired mud that collected in San Francisco Bay. The objects reference simple-bodied organisms at the threshold of evolutionary adaptation. I've been working with muds in the Bay for about 8 years now. I use it as pigment, sculpture medium, and clay. The mud, which I collect at low tide, is a complex mixture of organic matter from decomposing plants, animals, and rocks, as well as waste from human activities such as plastics, heavy metals, industrial and agricultural chemicals, and pharmaceuticals. It's both this foundation for a rich ecosystem as well as a toxic testament to the Bay's human history. The second project, I'm going to switch the slides. This is called Archaea. It's a semi-permanent, site-specific work installed in the bed of a creek on the grounds of the Jurassic Resident Artist Program in Woodside, California. It's made up of several hundred pieces of found clay that I hand-shaped and fired. The clay was collected from riverbanks where this creek's water spills into the ocean. The pieces are not secured, switch one more slide, allowing them to be reordered over time by environmental and human forces. They slowly move downstream. In the years since the installation, many of the pieces have traveled a long distance, eroding as they journey along the stream bed. I've always known that my art practice, with its use of forged materials, is a way for me to build relationships with local ecologies. But it wasn't until I started thinking about this panel and my conversations with Yu-Chung that I realized it's actually a really vital way that I create a sense of home and belonging for myself. I've moved around a lot. Since leaving my home in Hong Kong at 16, I've lived in 3 states and 5 countries. Through the somatic and sensory engagement with place that my art practice entails, and in particular with the elements I think of water and earth, I earn this intimate sense of connection to my newfound homes. Each new environment or ecology requires learning different modes of being in relationship. The clay for the first project has different qualities than the clay that I used in this project. Their collection requires different skills and different knowledges specific to the local environment. Learning about being present in place and the local manifestations of the elements in that place demands a humility, a curiosity, and a patience. I attend to them and they open themselves up to me. This attention is so important. It's been said that it is the basic form of love. It's how we come to care about something. My art making process is essentially a practice of attending to, and I hope that my work offers others opportunities to engage in the same practice of deep attendancy. Thanks.
So I think we're going to continue introduction for each one. So then come back and have a discussion.
Hello, everyone. I'm Erin, and I'm a 4th generation Japanese American woman, acupuncturist,
a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. And I'm curious, who here has experience with traditional Chinese medicine or TCM? Maybe acupuncture, herbalism, Toilet massage, Qigong. Maybe it's just seeing, smelling, tasting herbs blowing in your gums. So, seems like a lot of us here. So, my understanding and use of the elements as a TCM practitioner is all about philosophy that is embodied, or philosophy that we witness in our bodies and in our lives. So I want to start by sharing more about the metal element, which is the element of the season we're currently in, early autumn. So the metal element is associated with autumn in mid-early September into November. And note if any of these things are coming up for you now, or maybe something you notice in the fall months that is common for you. Metal and autumn are associated with the lung, skin, nose, large intestine, and dryness. And emotional imbalances tend to feel like the heightened grief, emptiness, difficulty letting go of things, circular thinking. And emotional balance, people might notice a time of feeling more spiritually grounded, inspired. So what does this look like in TCM? So TCM practitioners like myself will know that certain things come up for people. There's tendencies that happen across culture, across gender. Things like if someone has skin issues, dry skin or rashes, flare-ups, there might be a metal element issue, and then we will choose acupuncture points or herbs specific for that. Another thing with the dryness that's common for this time of year in the metal element, it could be digestion, that is sluggish, difficult, slower, that's very common. Dryness manifesting in the nose, that leaves us prone to more upper respiratory tract infections, catching every cold. Who here is prone to catching every cold or flu? Is there anybody here who's always, some people just kind of, their tendency. And then when grief comes up, it can also just feel like a heaviness in the chest. Or even show up as lung issues like coughing, shortness of breath, and asthma. So I bring this up because TCM and the 5 elements, it's not just about diagnosing imbalance or illness, but I really think it's a way to better understand the human condition on a physical, mental, and spiritual level. And also interesting is that these connections with the elements in our body and wellness and illness, they're just as relevant today in our experience as they were generations ago, thousands of years ago. So there's this thread that connects us to our ancestors by this very work and philosophy. And so I wanted to start sharing immediately by personalizing the 5 element philosophy, because my work specifically as a TCM practitioner and author really centers on remembering and reclaiming our healing lineages with our senses, with community learning, discussions together, academically and intuitively, knowing things not just by reading a book, but by how we feel it, how we sense it. So for the closest being around. For the last 15 years, I worked as a very traditional healing practitioner. So acupuncture, clinical herbalism. I think there was a slide a minute ago with the jars of herbs. It's from my clinic. Custom. Okay. Yes. Doing custom formulations. Energy work, Qigong. Very old school. And through my work, I immediately focused on traditional Chinese medicine and the idea of locality, focusing on the herbs in our
bioregion of the Bay Area. Accessibility. How do we share this information freely outside of, say, an acupuncture appointment? And also environmental impact, using what we have available to us here. And the question that came forward was, what does it mean to be a modern Asian American person practicing traditional medicine in the context of modern day life? So finally, all of that is to say that the heart of my work is really finding ways to make the elements, Asian medicine, and its knowledge more accessible and always within a culturally mindful framework.
Okay, I'm next. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay, great. Thank you so much for coming. My name is Fay Darmawi, and I'm the founder and executive director of SF Urban Film Fest, which is a thing that I invented at the intersection of urban planning, film, and civic engagement. And Yu-Chung and I were talking about it, and he was like, how did you even come up with this thing? And we were just saying about our childhood experiences and our immigration experiences. And I remember that it was because I moved to the United States as an 8-year-old that I became an urban planner. And it was because of the way that Jakarta made me feel versus where we moved to when we landed in the United States, which was the leafy suburbs of Washington, D.C. called Bethesda, Maryland. I don't know if any of you have been there, but it's really warm. So I just wanted to talk about those two slides that you just saw back to back. So the first slide was a scene of a typical marketplace in Jakarta, which is from here, it looks on the verge of exploding. There's chaos within order. There's just a riot of color and people, and you can't feel this, but it's like really hot and kind of smelly because it's heat, sort of like fermenting the stuff that's on the floor. And then I moved to this other place that was very alien to me, which is the next slide, which is Bethesda, Maryland. And this is a classic cul-de-sac design of the suburbs, which is completely alien, because what it is stagnation, right? There's no way energy can go anywhere except just around and around and just get stuck. And I was just wondering, when I moved to Bethesda, Maryland, who would build a place like this and why? It was so controlled, it was so orderly, and it kind of implied that your social interaction was also controlled and orderly. And it's the opposite of where I came from, which is Jakarta, where it was, on the verge of mayhem. On the other hand, sorry, stay on with that. On the other hand, it's very lush and green, right? It's kind of serene and peaceful and calm if you like sort of like stagnation. Which I obviously didn't. Okay, so then I moved to San Francisco as an adult. And I feel like San Francisco is like the ginger, Goldilocks, not too soft, but not too hard. It's like lots of activity, but it's sort of serene and green. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit later, but I think we're tipping to something else. And I don't actually know what that is, but the energy is definitely shifting in San Francisco. And next slide. I have 3 slides about what I do with the SF Urban Film Fest, which is a manifestation of, I I guess air. Air working on fueling fire. So Yu-Chung asked me to use the elements to talk about SF Urban Film Fest. And if I had to use the elements to describe what SF Urban Film Fest is to somehow inspire you to engage in your city. And if that is fire, then what is fire, right? It's air and wood. And what we do with air and wood is really to sort of create this metaphysical or meta sense of the city through film projections and film screenings in places that you wouldn't necessarily associate with watching a film. So you're taken out of your regular routine of walking in the city and having to think about the city as you're watching a film, as you're watching a story about the city. And I feel like this is sort of like air and wood fueling a fire that I hope inspires people who come to the festival to think about their city, to think about how we can make the city a place for everyone.
Hello everyone, my name is Fu Si-Heng. I like everyone call my name Fu Si-Heng because my father is Master Go. Okay, because in Chinese traditional, father always right here. We are the son, so we never head off my father. Okay, so my father is Master Go, and my name is Fu Si-Heng. Si-Heng is mean. You hear me? Okay. Si-Heng is mean like brother. Si-Heng, so we are same level. Okay. Master is higher level. Okay. So that is traditional for our culture. And I am the Lotus Style Culture Association.
Executive Director.
Director.
Like this.
Like this.
Make sure it's on.
It's on, just hold it like this, like this.
Like this.
Yeah.
Now obviously
Better.
all of them right. Better, right? So I'm the executive
Executive Director.
of the Lotus Style Culture Association. So we are the Taoism temple culture and a lot of activity related to the Taoism. So as the picture, you can see I'm doing some chanting service with the funeral. A lot of 100 years ago, a lot of Chinese they come to America, they die, nobody knows. And then we do some service for them and then we do some chanting. Hopefully they rest in peace and then even they go somewhere else and then we respect them. So we do some chanting service. Not however, I think it's on the early of March this year. Okay. He is my father, Master Go, and we do the Ghost 100 Gold Festival on last month, and we do some parade. And then the idea we do this is we promote Chinese traditional culture, and we promote that, and hopefully we through this festival, and hopefully we can get together to create more power and energy together, and we bring the Chinatown is boom again. So that's why we're doing some festival. That is the other one. So the Golden King, we make it in Hong Kong and then distribute here, and then we bring the acupuncture, and then at the second of a Victorian
Victory Hall on something.
and a lot of chanting, traditional service. We through this chanting, hopefully we can ask for the world peaceful and a lot of spirit or suffering goes in let them peaceful, quiet and relax. So that's all ideas for go message. And we offer some meditation class. See the Taoism, we believe meditation can understand ourselves and then we can create more energy. So to balance our mind and emotion, that's why we have the meditation class almost 30 years already. We used to have a class on Pacific Medical Center, and right now we have a class in our temple. Also, it's for free, non-profit, and then everybody can join our meditation. So we can talk about meditation later. There are a lot of techniques right there. Okay? And then for our temple, we focus on the young people, and then we have the Kung Fu class for teenage. The youngest one about 4 years old. And why we teaching the Kung Fu? Not for fighting, not because we saw a lot of teenage, young people, too many cell phones.
Yes. Technology.
They cannot focus. They will not respect the oldest one, like family. That's why we need to teach them, understand the
moral value, and then how to be polite, and then teach your seniors or family member.
sorry, my English is not good. But that is the way why we open the Kung Fu class, and not only the teaching the Kung Fu, but teaching. We demonstrate how to become a good human. So it's really good. It's our young team, and we have a very
Very strict teacher.
very strict. But it's good, the parents saw a strict teacher, they love it, and I don't know why, because maybe the children not listen to that, but after that, okay, the children quiet and respect, learn to respect the family, and respect all the same age people also. So I think it's very good for helping the young people to become a good human being. Anything?
So I think we can start. I actually have some questions. It's interesting because, our big one is so diverse, right? From body to the urban planning. But I think the interesting thing about this is the five elements, the way I look at the world. It's not only in a natural environment, but also inside the body, right? So it seems like the five elements, not just health, but it's also about how the environment works. So for you guys, how do you see this connection? Like, what about us, human in the natural environment, and affect and inspire you to do your work? Tanja, I think that you probably never thought about island before you make it work. But then it's surprisingly interesting that you use mud, earth, water, and you talk about metal. Check all the boxes, right? I think you probably didn't realize before you did the talk. it's kind of interesting. I feel like somehow you kind of grew up with that, and like your mind kind of make it without you knowing it. And Erin, you talk about the childhood memory, right? You kind of ask everybody this too, like how is that knowledge passed through generations? I'm just wondering how this growing you and kind of realize when you look back, did this impact everything about it? I know it's a difficult question.
Okay, I can take a stab at it. It's a big question. Looking back at, you're right. I've not framed my work in the context of the 5 elements until we had that first conversation to talk about this panel. But as we had our conversation, I began realizing that, I grew up in Hong Kong. My mom was really interested in Feng Shui, and we had several Feng Shui masters come to our house and read the energy and put things, mirrors in the windows to deflect bad energy. I'm not allowed to have dogs on my bed or images of dogs on my bed because of my sign, my Chinese sign, which is sheep. And I think the thing that really impacted my art practice is thinking about energy flows and how energy moves through space and through buildings, and it was really interesting with you talking about the movement of the energy through the markets and Jakarta, this stagnation inside these suburban Bethesda neighborhoods, and that has always been subconsciously in my mind when I do my work is movement. The 2 works that I showed you, they're a constant movement. One is created by air moving through the space, the other one is created by the movement of water, and that flow of energy is very central to a lot of the projects, almost all the projects that I do. Even if they're stagnant, there is an energy moving through them. So, yeah, I'm grateful that we have all these connections that I haven't seen before to some of my background and my lineage.
Don't know where you go. Just to go about Erin. I think you want to share something. I think you now share your story with your grandma. You kind of talk a little bit, talk a little bit more. I think that part is very charming and interesting.
When it comes to I didn't grow up knowing the 5 elements. But once I was in TCM acupuncture school and in a clinic, the herbal clinic with all the wooden boxes with all of the herbs, I'm looking through these big textbooks, studying for tests. It was the memory of my grandma's kitchen that kind of took me out of that very structured academic sense and brought it back into a personal sense. This isn't just in books, this is actually how we live. This is something that we know in our bones. And so this is my grandma a few years ago in clinic, and then another one. There's actually a white box with a bunch of different words in it. You know, like a chart. Maybe one more over. Yes. So this is cool. If you Google 5 element associations, there's a little chart. But it really does talk about the elements up top, and then the different organs, the seasons, which is how the elements manifest in nature, the climate, again, nature, and then nirvana. So let's kind of take a look and see if we can think about that. So yeah, so it's really that memory of my grandma and kind of piecing together the academic book knowing with more that cultural instinct, that knowing that we get just from our lives and experiences.
How about you, Mr. Oh, your father knows how to hold really well. Any teaching or any interaction on the dining table?
Actually, my father he would not teach me anything. No. Nothing. But I go up with him, and but like a son, always happy with father, right? But sometimes he doing his job as a temple person, and then he do a lot of things. I learned something from his life, what he do, what he did. But he never teach me the way, but he showed me how to do it. So everyone is different. So I learned something from what he did, but he never teach me. Okay, so but we have a free mind, but everyone is different. Like me, I learned something from what he did. But like my youngers, our older father, not interested for the temple. So everything depends on the heart. So maybe we call some. We have a sincere heart. So like seed, and then the right timing, the right moment, the right place, the seed will go up. For sure, the seed will be in water and the land. So that's five elements. So good water, good land. San Francisco is a very good area. We go up here, we can feel the energy, like the weather, like the people, like the culture. That is really good nutrition for the going on. So I go a lot of places. Usually when I was around 30 years ago, I traveled to Asia and all over. San Francisco is really good location. We have a good element in this area. So I learned something from what
I actually also want to ask, because I feel like the first time I landed in San Francisco, I saw it live. I saw the mix. It's like, wow, what a place. I can see that energy going like over the mountain. And I see, wow, that's the best like almost image to visualize this sheep. And so we know with that movement and that microclimate. So it's kind of interesting. Also, I think interesting the right it's Austin here. This Chinatown is in San Francisco, which is interesting, I would say. It's like almost, I kind of asked you, because you have the Chinatown is really different compared to our neighborhood in San Francisco, right? I think that was because people's idea of a good environment, what is ideal, is different from other people, other neighborhood environment. So that's why, I think that's why San Francisco is such a special place. It's such an energetic place. And that's why I kind of want to ask Faye about you grew up you have religious identity, like you had a Chinese in Jakarta, so you're not totally Indonesia, but you kind of Chinese there, you move immigrant from US from China and somewhere, and you can move and live there. Know the environment, weather, and then you came to the state, this is like a hybrid of Chinese cities with Mediterranean climate, right? So the five element, the pattern, the way that it works, it's going to change so many times. And you can see, almost compare the different city, different conditions. It's not affect your idea about what's great about it, what's the city about, right? And that's why you have the urban film festival, which is, I think that the image you have in your mind is really different from people, Americans, different too. And do you think that's a connection that shaped your idea because you grew up in such a different place and you know that transition is so abrupt, it's almost really contrasting. You know, this is a good question. I'm not sure if it's going to answer that.
I mean, I have thoughts about everything, so thank you for asking. I think my answer is that because I was aware of the two extremes as a young person, so aware that I can see that San Francisco sometimes tries to vacillate from one to the other. And right now, so yes, I think it does impact me a lot in terms of how I experience cities and what I want my city to be like. I think the city is right now going to a place that I've never seen it before. And if we wanted to use the elements, it's going towards metal, right? What we have is sort of like an emptiness that's going on. The sound is very tinny. It's not cacophony. It's not like a symphony that it was before. I mean, I'm kind of intimating about the abandonment of humans here. And the city feels different to me. I'm really afraid because I've never actually experienced the city before. This kind of feeling before. It's nowhere in this range that I've experienced. It's somewhere else. And I don't like it. It's out of balance. It's going towards an element that's not that alive.
I just want to really what you're saying, okay? And there was an image at the beginning of the 5-pointed star of the elements. And in traditional Chinese medicine, so 5 elements is translation, and some people consider the term 5 phases, movement, process, instead of element to be more appropriate. And it does speak to this idea of movement, which are not static words, right? It's moving like we do on our body. And so it says there, in the circle around the arrow is creation cycle. When we're healthy, when the world and our city is healthy, we see that things exist in nature. So fire makes the earth, we need burning, right, to regenerate the earth. Earth creates air and metal can hold water nurtures wood feeds fire, and so on. And that's reflected in our everyday life. It's like a poetic way to say that. However, there's also a destruction cycle, and that's the 5-pointed star. And when things are out of balance, the elements start attacking each other. And I think that you were so poignantly brought that up, and we can feel that. We don't have to know exactly what that is, right, in the books. We can feel that. It doesn't feel right.
Now we're to the point up here that I said, oh, it's great. You know, so that's what I'm going to ask you guys. It's kind of not just kind of environment, but also people actually create a space. So it's like two ways, right? So what you see, what you understand, actually what are the impact, how to shape this. And that's actually a reflection of the people. The city grows and it makes difference because of people. And that's why, you know, I think it's not coincidence that San Francisco used to be one of the best cities in the state because there's almost encounter of different cultures, especially Chinatown here. Definitely, to me, is stabilizing folks in the city. You know, think about the contrast between Tenderloin here and its neighbor. That's such a big difference because I think what people experience, what people like, is really different. And now you can see the random models and see that people treat. So I kind of just feel like maybe I ask one more question and maybe open to the audience. So this might be too quick on topic, but you know, what can from a lot of urban issues like homelessness, crime, violence, a lot of empty spaces, like the retail is not very good, right? And think about violence. And think about the health. And it's just, I think, a way to start. So, do you have any suggestion for better city? I mean, people kind of have their own opinion, from your perspective. Tanja, you are the environmentalist, plus artist, definitely your thought. Fay, you are planner, and also you have as a film festival executive directors. And then you try to help people with health, you also want to help the community and the city. And master, you try to save the world, right? Save the people. Thought, maybe just very simple advices, and like your idea, like your suggestion. This is great. This is good type.
I just thought something. What comes to mind is, rather than very American sense, like, what do I need to do? What did I do wrong, right? It's the idea of community, and what comes to mind too is this event bringing together the community around Chinatown, and also the panelists was thinking how you actually have temples and you bring people together in the community, and with the art that both of you do, of bringing people together, and landscape architecture, and all these things where it's about community. That energy you can feel, and again, does it feel good? I think today feels amazing already, you know what I mean, right? Like, more of that. How can we create those positive associations and cultural moments that make San Francisco special?
That's cool. I ask this because I think we're taught a lot in people discussion. You mentioned one concept that called unity of Adam and humanity, which is struck me a lot because it's not like, Adam is just Adam. It's just kind of physical thing. But what's more important? It's an underlying concept about the goal, about Taoism. The Taoism means philosophy of ways. Ways means the way you do things, the way you act, the way you live. It's very abstract. That's a goal, what a final thing. I just want to hear you, I think probably your motivation or your goal. I mean, I also ask a real question, right? But just as a most regular, you kind of talk about your motivation, your goal as a Taoism master.
I share some experience for everyone. So we would like to have a better world, right? So we would like to create a better world, a happy world. But I saw that the people, they ask for, you ask for another one. But nobody asked for myself. Because if we change myself, change me, and then we can change you, my family, my friend, right? So that's why the Taoism needs to practice. They look at ourselves inside. It's the real deep inside. So what is inside? Right? My body, my dress, all. So that's why I need to go.
And then what he means is that when there is an issue, we always blame each other and not blame themselves. Maybe we are the root cause. So that's why Taoism is about self-reflection, how to improve yourself first and first. It's not to blame one area to beat another one.
So the Tao is both negative, positive, right, wrong, yin and yang. So we want our body and our mind. So we can transform very good thought for our mind and body. So that's why we would like to do something for inside the practice. So we do the meditation to understand ourselves, and how about then do some experience, right? You know what it is? Oh,
Singing.
single mental. So we need to be mental, material, right? So how we use mental to create, to change, to transform something. So everyone, close your eye, relax, take a deep breath, even in slowly. As I say, relax, slow down, and listen. Okay, open your eyes. Can you read that, Cindy? In the Bible, can you read that? Okay. So the mental, when I hit it, it's transformed to sound, right? So what is the relation for the five element? It's water. The sun is in water, like a wave. Like the wave. Water is the wave. So from the metal, and then transform to the water, and you hit the sun. So that means we can create the energy from this element to transform to you. And then you through this balance, and then you can feel the energy. You can let yourself relax, calm. So that what we think the Taoism, how to change your mind. So we have a chance to feel the energy, to change your mind. Take a minute to calm down and relax. And you can think about yourself, and then you can understand what your mind and your body. So that how Taoism and why we go to the temple and what we do.
This is so moving. Okay. It's so interesting. I think
I'll just add something really quickly. I'm thinking a lot about how and it relates to what all of you have said. In my work, I pay a lot of attention to sort of the imbalance that's happening in the environment, where energy has become stuck. And I think that's an important part of the attending to, that one also pays attention to the hard things that are happening. And a lot of that has to do with feeling, like you were saying, you're just feeling that something's off in San Francisco. And it's both this attending to what is wrong and trusting that feeling, what's going on outside, but then also looking internally and being willing to sit with the things inside of oneself that also feel stuck, and not just overlooking it. So that feels like an important part as well.
Hi. So let me read out the open to the question I'm holding. So, I remember when I had a conversation with Master, he kept doing this, and then the last one, he draw a line. Draw a line. And then just put a point here. I was asking, what? What's that? I was like, oh, Tony said it's not time. This is time. And our life, cities, at this point. So stay humble. Like we care. All the things that just happen one second at a time. And that actually reminds me a lot of things about whatever you kind of feel attached, or feel important, or feel hate, actually will go through the over. So it's actually a very interesting thing. It reminds me that when we think about it, sometimes we kind of try to get from attention, but materials actually that's not material, it's such a cycle of life and energy that flows, not physical thing. So that's just kind of something I learned that reminds me that life is really deep. Okay. I don't know if you guys have any questions. You want to ask, probably 2 or 3.
Hi, can you explain to me, from all your different perspectives, what was the, where was the pandemic? What kind of element did that put us in? And how it's shaped? I'm just so curious how you guys would explain the pandemic and where we're at and what phase we're in right now as related to the elements.
What comes to mind to me is that rather than, I don't have an element that comes to mind with the pandemic, but the pandemic is a moment in time, I think, really brought forward different elemental imbalances in each of us. Is that fair to say? Some people got very fire reacted anger, really self-righteous, that came up for people. Some people maybe more metal, just kind of kept going, never stopped, just boom, boom, very rigid. Other people maybe more earth, kind of like really hunkered down into their homes and their family and their bubble. So I think that's kind of what comes to mind, is that difficult times kind of brings things out of us. That's like a beautiful
Or Seattle. I try to we live in the earth, right? We live in the earth. The whole universe is here. And according to Taoism, having a lot of different stars, right, in the pandemic. So when the star relate to each other, sometimes like I'm the earth, you are the star, and then we will have an interaction, reaction. But sometimes, like when the earth turns to here, I will go to here. And sometimes I go there, have a relation. So according to the theory of the universe, when the earth turns to somewhere filled with the star with some illness, disease, or COVID virus. But after that, go ahead, will be better. So that have a cycle. About sometimes 10 years, 30 years a cycle. We talk about from few thousand years ago, like China. So about hundreds years we have the COVID, and then nothing again, and then we start over again. So 2 years we're talking about 2 or 3 years ago. So that is the relation with some illness down, we call that joy sick. Some is heart sick. So nothing we can do about it because we are just a little bit human in the world. But we talk about the whole universe. It's out of the system of the 5 elements. It's talking about the relationship of the whole universe. So for the human being, what should we do? Nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. We can calm down, keep yourself safety, and then help each other. That's what we can do, right? And then help people without food, give them food, and then they need doctor, send them to the hospital. So that's what we do. We can help each other, and then we can
experience how to be a better human being when we interact with each other. Because before the pandemic, maybe we kind of forget what we interact with each other. So that's why when the pandemic hit, it kind of reminds us to do a better human being, to treat each other better.
That is the most important thing. See, everybody must die, but we need to learn something. Even the pandemic, we need to learn how to be a good human. So that's what we do. Okay.
More questions?
I would love to hear if anyone is having personal reflections about the year of the wood dragon, like how the year of the wood dragon is coming through. Maybe no one's thinking about that, but the lunar year of the wood dragon.
Years ago, Taoism is really like we are having a lot of jet, in our temple. What is the jet? You can see, but you cannot touch. You hear that, but in the sky, you cannot touch it. It's not like an animal, right? Not like animals. The jet in the sky. So that's mean jet is mean changing. And being one ball.
It's always changing, has a lot of variation.
Jet is a kind of angry animal. So this is a law of changing. That is the year of
Variation you can expect or not anticipate.
Definitely allows us to be this year. Change my job, change the way I work, change the way. It's good. I feel like it's kind of interesting. I think that change gives you some kind of new way of looking at things. So me so far, I'm grateful that change the way you look. That's definitely a year of change. So surprising. I don't really know about the good job of the year because I like what it's
One thing, what you were saying about the wood element specifically, this mythical kind of lots of different changing energy, or the dragon energy. So the wood piece of it is when the wood
changes, adapt, be very powerful, not, which is a very human thing. The rigidity, you can break, pain, difficulty. So, yeah, it's near the end of the year. It's the time of reflection.
One more. This conversation is getting really deep. Good. No? Anything? No? I just wanted to say thank you because, I'm this like 10. We always want to be a storyteller, want to be an artist, want to be the potion master, want to be the herbalist or chemist. Right? So this is my dream come true now. Actually, the real person, real answer, talking to me. These are one of my best conversations I have with you. And I think this is just starting. I think it's an interesting way of looking at things. How many people think it's not rational, it's not scientific, but I feel like as we grow up, we actually find it's very interesting. The traditional way doesn't mean it's not scientific. It's actually a way of looking at things that's so flexible, be open, be soft, like Taoism. I think that's a powerful thing I learned by this conversation. We really have this opportunity to talk with this amazing, talented lineup of speakers here. And I hope you enjoy it. And we'll keep in touch. And thank you for coming. Wonderful evening. I think there are a lot of activities outside. Enjoy the evening. And I think there's one of a kind energy. You probably have very like experience. Like Chinatown in San Francisco. Definitely we evolve and keep going. It's happening. I hope you enjoy the energy. Okay. Thank you.